Hello, gang. We are 13 days out, and I am making a little update video for no apparent reason. Well, there is an apparent reason, and here's why. I find that as things get closer to the show, and my mind is pretty much preoccupied with the $400 worth of gourmet cookies sitting in my freezer, taunting me, calling my name, shouting out at me, that I need to find shit to do to take my mind off things. So running little errands seems to help a fair bit. And with our baby boy Brando's birthday tomorrow, big shout out to Brando. Throw him a hello in the comments. We are making him. I'm not making anything. Coach Antonella is making him a sweet potato pie for his birthday. The dog gets pie, and Daryl is having fish and cucumbers. Seems like a pretty fair trade to me now, doesn't it? So I'm at the grocery store, Safeway, Lethbridge, Alberta here. We are on a holiday weekend, so shout out to my fellow Canadians on a Victoria Day weekend. 13 days out. Picking up sweet potatoes. I'm going to see what they have by way of avocados. Now, my big personal rant, the shit that makes you angry is just insane at this point. It's like being hangry all the time, 24/7. Like, I'm upset now that you can't buy avocados that are already pretty much ready to eat, because I'm going through them in such a massive quantity that I just can't keep up with the supply and demand of the whole ripeness factor. Like, I'm on ChatGPT trying to figure out little tips and tricks on how to quickly ripen avocados. If you guys know of any surefire methods, throw them in the comments below, because it'll change my life. This is my second trip to the grocery store today. And like I said, I'm just finding excuses to get out of the house, to do something, to keep my mind occupied. And then following that, big surprise, heading to the liquor store. of all places to be on contest prep, in a grocery store filled with all sorts of delectable treats, and then heading right next door to the liquor store. Coach Paul has me drinking an ounce of vodka the night before the show. And the idea behind that is, well, it's a number of things. Help you relax, help you sleep, has a diuretic effect, so flush out some of the water, hopefully. Helps you stay vascular. It's a vasodilator, so it's expanding the blood flow, bring out the veins. And then he's got me drinking another ounce of vodka before we go on to stage with a little bit of caffeine, probably just to drive it in there, give you a little bit more energy. So I'm picking up a couple of shots of vodka from the liquor store, sweet potatoes from the grocery store, and I'm probably going to prepare myself for a massive letdown when they do not have ripened avocados. And that's about all she wrote. Like, we're even at 13 days out, and I'm putting together my overnight contest bag just for something to do, just to kill some time, to take my mind off of eating shit. I'm just finding stuff to do, other than going to the gym and eating meals and doing cardio, which takes up a ton of time as it is anyways. My last high day, my weight shot up pretty more than expected. It went up like 8 or 9 pounds. And I think the reason being is, and like, I'm chat GPT in this shit just to try to figure it out, is I went down from about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day when I add in like the pre-workouts and the fat burners and the coffees that I was drinking. So I dropped from about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, which is way too friggin' much to begin with, pretty much down to zero. And let me tell you, that was a bad idea. So I had a bit of a rebound effect with the water. So my body was holding on to a little bit of water. I could really tell. My hands felt a little bit puffy, and my ankles were swollen a little bit. Just body wasn't ready for that huge change in dropping caffeine out of your system immediately like that. What I should have done was just cut it back gradually, but dumb Daryl just figures, nope, cold turkey, let's just jack this shit right out of there. So I've added in a little bit of caffeine, like 1 cup of coffee in the morning. So that's getting me like about, 80, 90 milligrams of caffeine. I'll still have the pre-workout for a little bit. 13 days out, I'll still be training. Not hard though, just can't train hard. Just, there's no energy in the tank, just kind of going through the motions. And you also don't want to injure yourself. So we're not pushing big weights, not simply because you can't. I can't anyways. But also because it's just too risky to injure yourself this close. And it's not like you're building any muscle going into this. Not like you're building muscle kind of throughout this prep, because the calorie deficit that you're in kind of doesn't allow for that. The goal has been to keep what muscle you have on you while shedding as much fat and not losing the muscle. So I think I've done a pretty decent job with that. I know a lot of the ANS products have helped with that. They're N-iso whey and their Quench EAAs, which I have religiously. Put a link in the description below for those ANS products. Give them a shout, give them a try. 20% off all their products, which is a great deal. And they offer free shipping on most orders. I think it's over 79 bucks or something like that. You get free shipping. So check them out, ANS Performance. And I'm going to go run a couple of these errands, and I will check in with you guys in a bit. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I really appreciate it. Not only these videos motivate me to do them, I find, I'm getting a lot of feedback from people who are following it and they're interested in it. Got a lot of friends from Ontario still that are following my journey, and because I'm not in close contact with them anymore, it kind of feels like we're at least sharing in the experience together, and I know a lot of them would be there for me if they could be, but unfortunately with that kind of distance, it's not an expectation. But I do thank you for watching it. We really appreciate it. We've just crossed over 7,000 subscribers. We just got monetized last week, and we did that in about 3 months. So very proud of that accomplishment. We're going to keep doing it simply because we enjoy doing it. And, it's not about the money. Obviously, the money's a nice little perk, but who are we kidding? But you just follow the passion, right? Getting a lot of words of encouragement from friends. Keep them coming. They really make a difference, especially when you're down to the crunch right now and you're kind of questioning the whole theory behind why you're doing all this shit. But it's we're almost at the finish line, gang. So follow me through with this, and I look forward to keeping you updated as we go. Cheers. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.